And this is why we decided to make this platform in Africa. Does make sense. So it's feasible to change the thing, but not by just lecturing people on the other side because you come from the south, because I know very good guys from the north doing exactly the same speech with the opposite arguments, but working together and building bridges and based on facts and science, working together in order to improve the problem we have.
I associate myself with the sentiments expressed by President Macron in this context, that this Pact for Prosperity, People and Planet is not premised on North versus South. It is not premised on prejudices that exist and driven by narratives that we all know. That was not the premise upon which we established this platform.
The unique chance to do so is to work together with respect, refusing the oversimplification of the different parts of the world, because guess what? In South America, you have wonderful leaders, wonderful society, and the same in the North. And you have politicians who want to build precisely a new growth model and cooperation between North and South.
And this platform has been driven in all its aspects in trying to find solutions. Today, we have common ground by both the people living in the global North and global South on reform of the financial institution. It is no longer a matter of those of us from developing countries.
In COVID time, day one, probably remembers Ramaphosa, President Ramaphosa will remember, and Ngozi does remember. First month, I was invited by African Union to build the Common Action Act A in the G20. And this is precisely because in Africa, they needed vaccine, but didn't produce vaccine on their soil. They were lagging behind. Your point is right, but I want to treat it and not just just denouncing it.
The international arena cannot solve this problem alone. We have to be realistic. There are things that must be done in domestic jurisdictions. There are things we must do in our countries. And I will explain. For example, a matter that was ably canvassed by President Lorenzo about health. It is true. There is a relationship between poverty and conflict. There is a relationship between health and development. And as a result, it's become increasingly clear to us that even in the context where global resources, global fund resources, Gavi resources are going down, we must step up domestically mobilized resources to fill the gap. This is what we have done in Kenya, for example, so that we're not just discussing about reform of the international global financial architecture. We are also discussing reform of our own domestic raising interventions so that we have resources that is available at the domestic level. Let me also say this. We've also leveraged on the private sector to provide help in Kenya. We worked with manufacturers that were buying from, we were buying from them equipment for our hospitals. We decided to change it on the other side. We decided to create an investment out of equipment. Now manufacturers are investing. We have now a leasing program, a fee-for-service program, where manufacturers, where we were buying a CT scan or an MRI for our hospitals, today they bring the MRI to the hospital, they bring the CT scan to the hospital, and we pay for service. For every service we get, we pay for it. We don't have to pay for the equipment anymore. So we have changed. Instead of us investing in buying equipment, manufacturers have seen an investment opportunity for them to put equipment in our hospitals, and it comes out as a win-win. So the private sector and the public sector are collaborating to deliver on public intervention.